fabricated. Any discrepancies would be revealed through a professional background check post-interview. Among the 5 candidates, 2 had not changed jobs previously and were only recently contemplating a transition. Of the remaining 3, 1 had switched jobs once, while the other 2 had changed positions 5 times over the span of their 2-year careers. Chun Xiao meticulously inquired about the reasons for leaving each job and their motivations for seeking new opportunities. During the conversation, individuals inadvertently revealed inconsistencies. For Chun Xiao, who had prior experience as a headhunter, distinguishing truth from falsehood was a straightforward task. Some of their explanations seemed rife with contradictions, and delving a little deeper exposed their flaws. This entire process spanned an hour, at the end of which Chun Xiao had narrowed it down to 2 candidates. Once everyone had exited, he pointed to the table that documented each individual's particulars and said, "Let us retain Wang Peng and Xiao Su." Su Tang nodded in acknowledgement. Chun Xiao's seasoned interviewing techniques momentarily led her to believe that the individuals seated before her were not second-year students, but rather seasoned interviewers. Her intuition was not mistaken. In a previous life, Chun Xiao had indeed worked as a headhunter, albeit for a brief period of only 1 year, yet he achieved commendable results. Thus, he was quite adept at discerning candidates, including salary negotiations and background checks. However, he preferred to avoid unnecessary exertion. When financial solutions were available, he opted to utilize them to ease his burden. Su Tang exited to send the other 3 candidates away, distributing 200 yuan in travel expenses to each as per Chun Xiao's instruction, ensuring that the parting was amicable and devoid of resentment. Upon calling in the visibly excited Wang Peng and Xiao Su, Chun Xiao smiled and said, "Before you become too jubilant, although our team offers a competitive salary, your inclusion is contingent upon a professional skills assessment." Wang Peng and Xiao Su exchanged glances and confidently replied, "Mr. Chun, rest assured about our expertise. We are seeking new opportunities solely because our previous company has delayed salaries, not due to a lack of professionalism." Chun Xiao nodded, recognizing that both individuals came from the same company, which had been underperforming and had left them with unpaid wages for several months, compelling them to seek new employment. However, as mere words hold little weight, Chun Xiao gestured towards Su Tang's computer and stated, "Today, we are investing in Haitian fisheries. You 2 will take turns managing the positions." "Understood, boss," they replied. Upon examining the figures, Wang Peng and Xiao Su's eyes widened in astonishment. A capital of 7 million was leveraged to 70 million, 10-fold leverage. This was akin to dancing on a tightrope over a precipice. A mere 10% decline would lead to liquidation, and even if they fled beforehand, little of the 7 million principal would remain. Chun Xiao, observing their reactions, chuckled and remarked, "What is the matter? Are you hesitant?" The 2 swallowed hard. "Although we are not analysts, the risks involved in this approach are exceedingly high," remarked Chun Xiao. "However, your task is to complete the acquisition with the utmost efficiency and minimal cost, without concerning yourselves with anything else." The 2 traders pondered briefly. After all, they were merely traders, and the decision of what to purchase fell to the fund manager. Their role was simply to buy. The essence lay in the rapid, secure, and stable reduction of capital. "Xiao Su, you may proceed first," Chun Xiao instructed. Xiao Su note that his skills slightly inferior to Wang Peng's. Being the first to take action had its advantages, with significant funds entering the market before it had a chance to react. The operations could be executed with relative ease. Chun Xiao observed from behind as Xiao Su adeptly seized every opportunity during market fluctuations, judiciously purchasing a suitable amount of shares without substantially impacting the market. As he witnessed Xiao Su's meticulous trading strategy, Chun Xiao silently approved. After all, he was 100 times more capable than himself, and that sufficed. Next, he watched Wang Peng, whose techniques were even more professional and decisive. By the time the morning session concluded, the 2 had utilized over 40 million in capital, stabilizing the stock price. Chun Xiao felt a sense of satisfaction. The approach with substantial funds was distinctly different from previous experiences. Had he been the one executing the trades, the stock price would likely have soared beyond imagination. In the event of market speculation, this wave would yield minimal profit. Investing 70 million into a single stock within a single day was nearly at its peak. Other capital magnates typically allocate hundreds of millions or even billions across multiple stocks, often spanning several months or even half a year or a year to complete. It was rare to find someone like Chun Xiao who aggressively concentrated on one stock. During the 1.5-hour lunch break, Chun Xiao took the 3 to a high-end restaurant downstairs for a casual meal. On the way, Su Tang quietly inquired, "Boss, how are these two performing?" Chen Xiao nodded. "They are quite satisfactory." A relieved smile spread across Su Tang's face. Her boss's approval signified recognition of her work. "By the way, we should recruit some additional support staff, perhaps for ordering meals or preparing some fruit and juice." "Certainly, boss. Do you have any specific requirements?" Chen Xiao contemplated for a moment. "Female, reliable, and with an appealing appearance." "Understood." Chapter 33. Dining out. Without concern for prices as the afternoon trading commenced, Wang Peng and Xiao Su busily immersed themselves in their tasks. After 2 hours of intense effort, they successfully utilized 70 million, completing the acquisition. Fortunately, no favorable news had emerged that day. Otherwise, the capital would have escalated further. With a sigh of relief, the two completed their work. However, apprehension soon surfaced. Their actions had essentially placed 70 million at the precipice of a vast abyss. Any minor disturbance could result in catastrophic losses. Meanwhile, Chen Xiao was quite pleased. "Well done. Today's work is concluded. Tomorrow is the weekend. Everyone can take some well-deserved rest." Wang Peng and Xiao Su were taken aback. "Aren't we going to review our trades? Shouldn't we analyze strategies? Do we not need to assess intelligence?" "Oh, indeed. We do not even have an analyst. Analyzing is utterly futile. How delightful it is to have a job that does not require overtime." Observing the two individuals with their vacant expressions, Su Tang couldn't help but smile. Just a few days prior, she too had been bewildered by her boss's extraordinary maneuvers. However, now, no matter how astonishing her boss's decisions became, she would not be overly astonished. After all, who else could transform an initial capital of 100,000 into a leverage of 70 million within a mere few days? Can one truly assess or demand reason from such a person? If so, it is not they who are mad, but rather, it is you who have lost your senses. Su Tang remarked with a smile, "Do not doubt, work diligently, and you shall eventually find yourselves grateful for the choices made today." "Oh, understood, Ms. Su." Although the company comprised only 2 or 3 individuals, Chen Xiao still conferred upon Su Tang the title of general manager. Thus addressing her as Ms. Su was entirely appropriate. Afterward, Su Tang entered the boss's office, intending to inquire if Chen Xiao had any further instructions. If not, she would return her own duties. Others might take a break, but she could not afford such luxury. The company had just been established, merely a framework, with many aspects yet to be refined. Upon knocking and entering, Su Tang asked, "Boss, is there anything else you need to convey?" Chen Xiao jokingly inquired, "So how is it? The team has just been assembled. Are you feeling exhausted? Do you harbor any regrets?" Su Tang chuckled, replying, "Boss, you cannot truly appreciate the joy of painstakingly building a team from scratch, transforming it from weakness to strength." Chen Xiao was momentarily taken aback, reflecting that he too had started from nothing. Clearly, Su Tang perceived him as an elite nurtured by a prominent family. Nevertheless, her ability to derive satisfaction and joy from her work was more than sufficient. Withdraw 240,000 from this card. Allocate 200,000 for rent, office supplies, and daily expenses. And bring 40,000 to my office. Su Tang's mouth fell agape. In this era, rent is only a little over 10,000 a month. And paying 3 months at once. What could possibly require such a substantial sum for office supplies? After a moment's thought, Chen Xiao replied, "Search online and adhere to the standards set by Silicon Valley or Wall Street." Understood, Sutanga Kistev. She turned to descend the stairs, and shortly returned with 4 bundles of cash to hand over to Chen Xiao. In this era, scanning for payments had yet to become prevalent. Cash remained the dominant currency. Tomorrow, she intended to accompany Li Wenli for a shopping excursion. Thus it was prudent to keep some cash on hand. Noticing Chen Xiao engaged in a phone call, Su Tang patiently awaited her turn. "Yes, come over tonight. I have booked a hotel." "All right, see you shortly." After hanging up, Chen Xiao said, "Su Tang, when you head down, could you please assist me in booking a hotel? Just leave the room key at the front desk." "Of course," she responded without hesitation. An hour later, Li Wenli arrived at the office building. While engrossed in a mobile game, Chen Xiao received a call. "Hello, Chen Xiao, which floor are you on?" "I've arrived." "Oh, I'm on the 28th floor. Please bring me a handbag from downstairs." A handbag? All right, I will." Li Wenli meticulously selected a handbag she deemed suitable for Chen Xiao's temperament from a nearby sports brand store, spending over 400 yuan before happily ascending the stairs. Upon following Chen Xiao's instructions, Li Wenli arrived at a spacious office, only to find it utterly deserted. Chen Xiao," she called out nervously. "Over here." came Chen Zhao's voice from within the office. As Li Wenli traced the sound and entered, she spotted Chen Zhao seated in a chair, which allowed her to exhale in relief. "What are you doing here all alone?" she inquired. "Oh, I just rented this office today," Chen Zhao replied. Li Wenli paused, taken aback by the mention of an office, yet refrained from pressing further. She lifted her bag and said, "Chen Zhao, look at the handbag I bought for you. Do you like it?" Chen Zhao nodded, responding, "It's great. Put the money inside and wear it. Let's go." Li Wenli was bewildered. "Wait, aren't you the one who wanted the handbag? After all this, I ended up buying it for myself?" She turned to see 4 thick stacks of cash casually lying on the desk. It was the first time in her life she had seen such a substantial amount of money laid out before her. Following Chen Zhao's suggestion, her breathing quickened as she stuffed the money into the bag, covering it with both hands. Chen Zhao glanced back and was momentarily speechless. "Don't be nervous. It's just 40,000 yuan, our pocket money for the weekend." 40,000 for pocket money? Li Wenli exclaimed. "Let's hurry. The restaurant downstairs will be full if we delay." With that, Chen Zhao moved ahead. "Oh," Li Wenli replied, adjusting her handbag while slinging the new one over her shoulder, and hurried to catch up with him. The restaurant in the business district was among the more upscale establishments in Jining, frequented by elite business professionals. It offered services to match. By around 5 in the afternoon, the restaurant Chen Zhao had intended to visit was already bustling with patrons. He shrugged. "See? We're late. Then let us choose another one," Li Wenli suggested. "Sure, you pick the next one," Chen Zhao replied. After a brief glance around, Li Wenli pointed to a brightly adorned storefront. "How about that one? Japanese cuisine? Huh? Fine by me," Chen Zhao agreed. As they entered the restaurant, the staff greeted them with warm enthusiasm, and a chorus of incomprehensible shouts filled the air. The interior was even more extravagant than the exterior, adorned with faded portrait posters and a hodgepodge of sumo-themed decor. The draping curtains were equally flamboyant. Chen Zhao could not discern the establishment's level of sophistication, but it certainly dazzled the senses. Li Wenli, filled with curiosity, sat down and eagerly perused the menu, her eyes widening in surprise. Then, lowering her head slightly, she used the menu to cover her face and whispered, "Chen Zhao, shall we consider another place?" "Why? It's quite expensive here," she replied, without glancing at the prices. Chen Zhao stated, when dining out, "Don't concern yourself with the cost, just order." Li Wenli finally understood why Chen Zhao had taken out more money than her entire 4 years of tuition as pocket money. This meal would consume her living expenses for 3 months. However, one must admit, the ingredients were indeed fresh, having been airlifted. Chen Zhao was quite satisfied with the meal. Such delicacies were enjoyable for an occasional treat, but indulging too often could become tiresome. "Where would you like to explore next?" he asked. Li Wenli pondered for a moment. Her face flushed with shyness, and said, "I don't want to go shopping. I'm just tired." Chen Zhao responded, "Tired from eating?" It was clearly an excuse, and he understood instantly. "Let's head back to the hotel for some rest." At the hotel front desk, Chen Zhao provided his phone number and name, and effortlessly received the room key. Su Tang had booked him a suite, complete with an office area, a relaxation zone, and a reception area. Upon entering the room, Li Wenli was astounded. "Wow, hotels can be this spacious?" Chen Zhao chuckled. "As long as the money is right, they can be as large as one desires." Standing by the window, she pointed outside, exclaiming, "Chen Zhao, come here quickly. It's so beautiful out there." Chen Zhao walked over with a smile. The banks of the Chongqing River were aglow with lights, the neon shimmering vibrantly. The colors danced upon Li Wenli's fair skin, casting a kaleidoscope of hues. Chen Zhao gently embraced her from behind and whispered softly in her ear, "Do you like it?" Li Wenli turned to wrap her arms around his neck, her eyes brimming with affection, and nodded vigorously. "I like it." The passion ignited in the reception area spread to the desk and eventually found its culmination in the bathtub, holding the delicate Li Wenli in his arms. Chen Zhao felt invigorated. He reached for the cigarette box beside the tub, but Li Wenli snatched it first, taking a cigarette, lighting it, and then placing it in Chen Zhao's mouth. He chuckled, reclining comfortably against the tub's back and indulging in a smoke. 10 minutes later, after drying him off and donning a bathrobe, they finally settled in a bed for some rest. Leaning against the headboard, Chen Zhao scrolled through messages on his phone while Li Wenli curled up in his embrace, eyes shut in repose. After a brief respite, Chen Zhao grew restless once more. Li Wenli murmured, "Oh no, we still have to go shopping tomorrow." Over an hour later, they both succumbed to a deep slumber. The following afternoon, Chen Zhao finally roused Li Wenli from her slumber. "We haven't even shopped yet, and half the day has slipped away." Li Wenli pouted. "Isn't it your fault?" Chun Xiao chuckled. All right, I take the blame. After ordering lunch to be delivered to their room, they finally ventured downstairs to embark on their shopping adventure. For women, shopping is akin to a stimulant. The once lethargic Li Wenli transformed into a vibrant ball of energy the moment they stepped outside, linking her arm through Chun Xiao's. She bounced and pointed at various intriguing sights. Perhaps caught up in her excitement, she misstepped on the stairs at the entrance of Jide Square, nearly toppling over. Luckily, Chun Xiao was quick to catch her. Li Wenli, startled, turned pale. Are you all right? She asked, her face etched with worry. I'm fine, just scratched someone's car, she replied, patting her chest in relief. Chun Xiao glanced over and noticed a white Honda Fit parked by the roadside. The zipper of Li Wenli's backpack had left a faint mark on the car door. It's all right. Let's check for the owner's contact number, and we can compensate them. He reassured her. Li Wenli lowered her head like a child who had done something wrong, saying, I'm sorry, Chun Xiao. Am I being too useless? For a girl of her age, scratching someone else's car indeed felt like a significant mishap, particularly in the year 2010, when the number of vehicles was not exceedingly high. Owning a car was undoubtedly synonymous with luxury. At that time, a young man with bleached hair emerged from his vehicle, his face contorted with fury as he approached. He pointed an accusatory finger at Li Wenli and exclaimed, Are you blind? This is my newly purchased car. Startled, Li Wenli took a step back. Chun Xiao, who had been smiling, felt his expression gradually fade. It was only natural for anyone to be enraged if their newly acquired vehicle was scratched. However, to hurl insults without seeking an explanation was rather excessive. In a calm yet firm tone, Chun Xiao inquired, How much does it cost to repair that scratch? The young man assessed Chun Xiao's attire, noting its value likely exceeded 1,000, and glared at him, retorting, This is a new car. You must account for depreciation. Chun Xiao persisted. I merely ask you, how much for the scratch? Typically, such minor blemishes could be easily rectified at a repair shop for a mere $100. Yet, after a moment's hesitation, the young man replied, At least 1,000. Chun Xiao nodded, drew Li Wenli closer, and retrieved a wad of cash from his bag, tossing it into the young man's arms. Then, gripping Li Wenli's hand, he took out his keys and began to scratch the young man's car. The young man was momentarily taken aback, then erupted in outrage. What the hell? Are you trying to get yourself killed? Chun Xiao chuckled coldly. You don't want the money? Then I'll fix it for you. Though the young man clutched the money tightly, he found himself at a loss to stop Chun Xiao's actions, his face reddening with suppressed anger. Li Wenli, concerned, murmured, Chun Xiao, perhaps we should let this go. It's all my fault. Chun Xiao comforted her. Do not fear. We have already paid. If we do not scratch it 10 times, won't that just benefit him? With that, they continued to mar the car's surface. Before long, the once pristine vehicle was marred by deep scratches on all sides. Although Li Wenli worried about Chun Xiao's potential loss, she could not deny the satisfaction of the moment. Chun Xiao asked, Is it exhilarating? Shall we add another 10 scratches? The young man trembled at the side, pondering whether this individual, so nonchalant with money, was truly someone to provoke. If he held a grudge, a mere 10,000 could make life unbearable. Big brother, I was wrong. Let's just forget it, all right? Look at your sister-in-law's hand. It's already red. Chun Xiao, ignoring him, turned to Li Wenli for her opinion. She quietly replied, No, let's not. It's too wasteful. Satisfied that she had vented her frustrations, Chun Xiao decided to cease the activity. However, unexpectedly, 2 individuals appeared, one wielding a fire extinguisher, shouting, Don't stop now. I'll add another 10,000. After tossing a wad of cash to the young man, he swung the extinguisher down. The young man stood frozen, on the verge of tears, lamenting the misfortune of encountering such individuals while merely parking his car. Chun Xiao was momentarily bewildered by the unfolding scenario. The young man, having exerted himself, was slightly out of breath after shattering all the windows. He tossed the extinguisher to a nearby burly man and approached Chun Xiao, saying, Brother, I like you. Chun Xiao shivered and instinctively stepped back. Realizing the awkwardness of his statement, the young man slapped his mouth, exclaiming, Damn, look at my clumsy words. My dear brother, do not misunderstand me. I merely happened to witness the unfolding events and am quite fond of your temperament. On a whim, I wish to partake in the fun, and I must say, it was indeed a delightful experience. Chun Xiao, Chapter 35, Tang Xiaofei. One can easily discern that he is of a wealthy lineage, yet his demeanor is rather affable. Your interests are rather unique, I must say. The young man chuckled and replied, Are you not the same? We are cut from the same cloth. Shall we get acquainted? Chun Zhao's mannerisms clearly indicated he was not an ordinary individual. As a member of the elite class, he could not possibly be oblivious to this fact. With a smile, Chun Xiao extended his hand, Introducing himself, I am Chun Xiao. Tang Xiaofei. Let us exchange contact information. Would you care to join me sometime? Chun Xiao raised an eyebrow slightly, but quickly regained his composure. Very well. My number is. They exchanged numbers, and Tang Xiaofei addressed his imposing bodyguard, Biao. Handle this. Chun, you take the lady and enjoy yourselves. I shall manage matters here. Chun Xiao nodded, expressing his gratitude. Thank you. Next time we meet, the treat will be on me. Absolutely, no problem. After bidding farewell, they departed in their respective directions. Li Wenli looked on with wide eyes, speechless. It was her first encounter with the stark contrast between the wealthy and the ordinary. When ordinary individuals face such situations, they often engage in disputes, seeking connections or assistance from others. The entire ordeal could easily consume a whole day, if not longer. However, the affluent are different. They are willing to part with their money to resolve issues efficiently and decisively. In fact, for the sake of their own satisfaction, they may spend lavishly. When wealth speaks, the surroundings naturally fall silent. Upon entering the shopping mall, Li Wenli observed Chun Xiao's demeanor return to normal, as if he had merely stepped into a pile of bird droppings, brushed it off, and completely forgotten about it. Wenli, what would you like? I shall buy it for you. Li Wenli shook her head, declining. No, you've already spent so much today. Chun Xiao chuckled and playfully tapped her nose with his finger. After all your hard work, you deserve to be well rewarded. Do not be shy. Li Wenli's cheeks flushed instantly, yet she persisted. No, let us go watch a movie instead. Chun Xiao, at a loss for words, pointed at her handbag. If I do not spend all this money today, shall I give it to you as pocket money? What? I do not want it. I saved the 2,000 yuan from the hotel refund for you, Li Wenli replied. Chun Xiao was taken aback, feeling a sense of admiration for the innocence of college girls. In the outside world, they would have happily pocketed it, perhaps even giving you a sweet kiss while calling you hubby, and later splitting the spoils with a pretty boy. With a commanding tone, Chun Xiao stated, "It is settled then. You should know my temperament." Li Wenli cast him a wistful glance. During their time together, she had yet to witness anyone dare defy Chun Xiao's wishes. After pondering briefly, she said, "Then let us go spend this money." Only then did Chun Xiao break into a smile. Now that is more like it. However, the ensuing hours saw Li Wenli dragging him into men's clothing stores. From undergarments to socks, from formal attire to casual wear. Chun Xiao lost count of how many outfits she purchased. In any case, they were laden with bags of all sizes. Observing her struggle to carry the bags, Chun Xiao, despite his principles, could not bear to watch any longer and alleviated much of her burden. No more purchasing men's clothing. You haven't acquired a single item. Just one more set of men's attire before I indulge in my own. I find that hard to believe. You claimed the same when you bought your first set. Without hesitation, Chun Xiao pulled her into a women's clothing store, found a seat, and addressed the attendant. Please assemble 10 outfits for her. The attendant, noticing the duo had gathered numerous bags, immediately recognized a significant patron. With a beaming smile, she guided Li Wenli to select her garments. Chun Xiao settled onto the sofa, sipping the beverage offered by the staff, while relishing the sight of Li Wenli trying on various outfits. Her exquisite beauty, imbued with a hint of exotic charm, coupled with her tall stature, rendered her a perfect clothes hanger. She could masterfully wear any ensemble. Some were pure and captivating, others exuded sensual allure, while a few conveyed gentle tranquility. Chun Xiao exclaimed in delight. This was the quintessential way to accompany a girl on a shopping expedition. In stark contrast to the exhausting outings that could leave even a dog panting, this was sheer enjoyment. After 2 hours of fervent shopping, they amassed a considerable collection of clothing, yet Chun Xiao awkwardly realized they could carry no more. Reluctantly, he contacted Su Tang for assistance. Without a moment's hesitation, she arrived within 10 minutes. The three of them loaded the garments into the car, filling the trunk to capacity. Boss, what next? Pondered Chun Xiao. Back to school. If we head to the hotel, it will be another hassle. Understood. Chun Xiao and Li Wenli settled into the back seat while Su Tang drove, maintaining a forward gaze. Wenli, upon our arrival at the school, please take these clothes to your dorm. I'll let you know when I wish to wear them. Oh, all right. Li Wenli understood that Chun Xiao wished to conceal his identity, so she would take on the role of his protector. When they reached the base of Building 5, Chun Xiao exited the car and returned to his dormitory. Subsequently, Su Tang drove to the base of Building 6, where Li Wenli summoned her dorm mates to assist in moving the garments upstairs. Sister Su Tang, thank you for your hard work, Li Wenli said, bending slightly to greet her through the car window. Su Tang smiled and replied, no need for thanks. It is my duty to assist the boss. Farewell. Li Wenli was momentarily taken aback, but quickly waved and smiled. Goodbye. Once the car departed, her dorm mates were left in astonishment. Wenli, how on earth did you acquire so many items? And half of them are men's clothes, including underwear? Li Wenli, feeling a bit flustered, mustered her courage and replied, I won a small lottery. Those are for my brother. Wow, that means you owe us a treat. All right. Just help me carry them back. I'll treat tonight. Upon returning to the dormitory, Li Wenli organized the men's clothing by style, neatly placing them on the upper shelf, while her own clothes overflowed onto the lower shelf. When Chen Xiao returned, he felt it was time to purchase a vehicle. Although Su Tang owned a car, it was rather cramped, lacking in soundproofing and comfort. With this in mind, he called Su Tang. Hello, boss? You haven't reached home yet, have you? No, I'm on the way. Tomorrow morning. Come pick me up and bring your ID. All right. After hanging up the phone, Chen Xiao felt increasingly satisfied with Su Tang. Her competence was impressive. She asked few questions, demonstrated high emotional intelligence, and while her loyalty remained to be seen, she was at least commendable for now. Upon returning to the dormitory, Chen Xiao discovered an additional presence. More specifically, a female presence. Hello, Brother Xiao, greeted Ma Yijia first. Hi, replied Xiao Ji with a playful grin, handing Chen Xiao a cigarette without mentioning his relationship with Ma Yijia. Observing them, Chen Xiao noticed the same flirtatious behavior from his previous life. The two were cozied up on the single sofa, engaging in a rather discreet manner. Moreover, Ma Yijia's gaze frequently darted toward Chen Xiao, either intentionally or unintentionally. Chapter 36. I'll calm down before leaving. After sitting for a while, Chen Xiao decided to wander to other dorms. The guys were either engrossed in video games, watching movies, or flirting with girls. After a brief tour, he returned to find that Ma Yijia was still there. Chen Xiao felt a bit exasperated. It was the weekend, and without room checks, it was quite possible that Ma Yijia would stay over. After some contemplation, he messaged Lu Xin, informing him that Xiao Ji had brought a girl to the dorm and that he should handle the situation as he saw fit, suggesting that if it wasn't too awkward, he could return. He then called Li Wenli, who was out of breath after tidying up, saying she was taking her dorm friends out for dinner. With a sense of helplessness, Chen Xiao tried reaching Sun Ying, but no one answered. Shortly after, he received a message, eating out, will return later. Chen Xiao thought, am I surrounded by women to the point of insufficiency? He aimlessly scrolled through his phone until he paused at the name of Xia Yudi. The mere thought of her gaze upon him filled him with a sense of exhilaration. No matter how remarkable a man may be, he is not immune to the admiration of women, especially beautiful ones. Chen Xiao was no exception. He dialed her number. Wow, Chen Xiao, you finally called me. On the other end, there were various voices chiming in. Oh my, little fairy, are you waiting for a man's call? Mom, I'm heartbroken. My fairy is flirting with a nasty man. Yudi, a girl as stunning as you should never be single. Xia Yudi, exasperated, replied, leave me alone. After some commotion, she found a quieter spot and said, Chen Xiao, did you call to ask me out? If you have time. I have time. Where shall we meet? At the juice shop in the campus commercial street. All right, see you soon, Hua. Chen Xiao noted that the campus commercial street was the only one within Jining University. During class-free hours or weekends, this place teemed with activity. The original milk tea shop thrived, while the freshly squeezed juice shop was relatively quiet due to its higher prices, each cup costing over 10 yuan, which paled in comparison to the competitive 3 to 4 yuan cups of milk tea. It is futile to discuss health with the youth. Health is but an obstacle on their path to success. Fueled by their youth, they indulge recklessly, betel nuts and cigarettes, barbecues paired with alcohol, and countless sleepless nights, all typical occurrences at this age. Before long, Xia Yudi, adorned in a white lace-trimmed dress, approached from a distance, captivating the attention of numerous boys and girls along her path. However, her gaze remained steadfast, fixated solely on the boy at the entrance of the freshly squeezed juice shop, who occupied her entire world. He, Chen Xiao, what would you like to drink? It's on me. Chen Xiao glanced at the heartbroken crowd surrounding them and replied, how about I treat you instead? What do you wish to drink? Xia Yudi clapped her hands on the bar, exclaiming, I want a pink love, extra sugar and ice. Chen Xiao smiled slightly. Extra sugar and ice. Much like Xia Yudi's personality, sweet and endearing towards those she cherished, yet cold and aloof towards those she did not favor. The two strolled through the campus, each sharing amusing anecdotes. Yet, as it was the height of summer, the refreshing juice soon vanished, leaving them to endure the sweltering heat. Xia Yudi glanced up at the swimming pool, then assessed Chen Xiao's physique from head to toe. Chen Xiao, shall we go swimming? Chen Xiao was momentarily taken aback. Huh? Swimming? Yes, the weather is perfect for it, she replied. Chen Xiao looked at the prestigious national swimming pool on campus, realizing he had scarcely visited it in his previous life. A true waste. All right then, let us swim. They decided against returning for their swimsuits and instead purchased new ones at the pool entrance before heading to change. Dressed simply, Chen Xiao donned his swim trunks and entered, equipped with a swim cap and goggles. After waiting for several minutes, he finally spotted Xia Yudi sneaking in, arms crossed, as if she were a thief. The moment she stepped inside, the collective gaze of the boys in the room fixated upon her. Xia Yudi's petite frame was delightfully charming, possessing all the right attributes. Her skin fairer than snow, and her features exquisitely aloof. She was the epitome of allure, drawing attention even in the swimming pool. Her appearance instantly ignited a sense of protectiveness in the onlookers. Upon spotting Chen Xiao, she made a beeline for him, her cheeks flushed with a rosy hue. Have you never been to a swimming pool before? Chen Xiao inquired. Xia Yudi quickly hid behind him, shielding herself from the unabashed stares of the crowd. I've never been. Chen Xiao was speechless. Then can you swim? Xia Yudi shook her innocent eyes and replied, I can't. Yet you insisted on coming to the swimming pool. Was that truly for swimming? Xia Yudi blushed and said, I can't swim, but you can, right? Teach me. Chen Xiao sighed. All right, let's get in then. No, you carry me. I'm scared. Chen Xiao felt a wave of embarrassment wash over him. But there are so many people watching. Then you go first and catch me. I'm afraid of drowning. Chen Xiao nearly choked. Did this girl come to the pool with a death wish? Fine. He jumped into the pool, extending his arms. Come on, don't be afraid. Xia Yudi then cautiously perched at the edge of the pool, slowly descending step by step. Fear gripped her as she bit her lip. And as soon as she entered the water, she leaped into Chen Xiao's embrace, clinging to him like an octopus. Chen Xiao watched as the surrounding boys collectively slapped their foreheads, unable to bear the display of affection, grumbling as they departed. Both individuals donned swimwear, and in an instant, Chen Xiao was engulfed by a wave of heat, unable to contain himself any longer. You come down. Summer Yudi clung to Chen Xiao's neck, vigorously shaking her head. No, I won't go down. I'm afraid of drowning. But how can you swim like this? You can hold me while swimming. Chen Xiao shuffled towards the edge of the pool, leaning against the wall to shield himself from the awkwardness. He thought to himself, if anyone sees this, I might as well transfer schools. You're suffocating me. I can't breathe. Summer Yudi paused for a moment, tilting her body slightly back to grant Chen Xiao some breathing space. Oh right, my apologies. If Chen Xiao hadn't been on the verge of losing control, he would never have disengaged from that tender embrace. Ahem, it's fine. Take your time. Don't be nervous. I won't let you drown. Chen Xiao reassured her for a while, until Summer Yudi gradually relaxed and slid down from him. Huh, I think I just brushed against something. No, you didn't touch anything. Suddenly, Summer Yudi recalled something, and her face turned crimson. Chen, are you all right? I'm not very well. I can't turn around. Then shall we leave? You go up first. I need a moment to gather myself. Chapter 37. News from the financial circle more than half an hour later. Chen Xiao finally emerged from the pool. A few students watching the situation were puzzled. What has that boy been doing standing in the water for half an hour? Meanwhile, some who understood the dynamics were all too aware of the potential embarrassment they could face in his position. Outside the swimming facility, Summer Yudi trailed behind Chen Xiao like a child who had erred, her cheeks flushed. Chen Xiao, I'm sorry. It wasn't intentional. It's fine. I'm not upset with you. Summer Yudi's spirits lifted instantly. Really? That's wonderful. Although we didn't T-swim today, you look quite handsome without clothes. Chen Xiao was speechless. I was still wearing swim trunks. Unfazed, Summer Yudi replied, It's all right. I can imagine. All right. You can head back to the dormitory and let your imagination run wild, Chen Xiao replied. After coaxing her gently, he finally managed to send her off. In the evening, he sat alone in the cafeteria, sipping on a beverage, enjoying the leisurely and pleasant moments of university life. Suddenly, Tanxing appeared and plopped down directly across from him. Chen Xiao was taken aback. What brings you here? Tanxing pondered for a moment before saying, Chen Xiao, I did not agree to get back together with Lu Xing. Chen Xiao looked at Tanxing, bemused, and replied candidly, Why are you explaining this to me? Do you wish to date me? You. Tanxing was caught off guard by Chen Xiao's straightforwardness. His casual tone made it impossible for her to accept even if she wanted to. Who wants to date you? After saying that, she huffily stood up and left. Chen Xiao was utterly disappointed in his former goddess. How on earth did I pursue someone like her for 4 years? Just as he was wallowing in his discontent, a call from Sun Ying interrupted his thoughts. Hello, little brother. Why did you call your sister earlier? It's nothing, Chen Xiao replied, feeling somewhat downcast. I can tell something is amiss. What happened? Where are you? I'm at the cafeteria. Oh, all right. I shall be there shortly. With that, they ended the call. Within 10 minutes, Sun Ying entered, adorned in a floral maxi dress, donning a lace-trimmed sun hat and sunglasses, her makeup strikingly bold. Chen Xiao, what troubles you? She inquired, glancing at the beer bottles before him with concern. Sigh. Chen Xiao exhaled deeply, then smiled as he replied. How should I put it? It feels akin to having harbored a secret admiration for a goddess for many years, only to witness her fall from grace, transforming into a mere temptress. Sun Ying was taken aback. Are you heartbroken? Heartbroken? How can one be heartbroken when there was never a love to lose? Sun Ying chuckled lightly. Oh, I thought it was something significant. Is it really worth fretting over? Chen Xiao chose not to elaborate. His melancholy stemmed from the 4 years of youth squandered in his previous life, and that was the true pity. Believing he was genuinely distressed, Sun Ying reached out her delicate hand and gently caressed his arm. Do not dwell on it. Tonight, I shall surprise you. That's not necessary, Chen Xiao replied. Sun Ying continued. Oh, come now, no need for explanations. I understand completely. However, allow me to offer you some advice. A true gentleman should prioritize his future. Once you establish your career and accumulate wealth, you shall find countless women vying for your attention. Chen Xiao regarded her with surprise. Your understanding is remarkably profound. Sun Ying sighed, her expression weary. Yet that echelon is exceedingly difficult to attain. Just do your best, and do not burden yourself with excessive pressure. Upon hearing this, Chen Xiao sensed she had encountered her own troubles. What is it? You seem rather melancholic. Sun Ying picked up the drink Chen Xiao had consumed, tilted her head back, and took a hearty sip. Today, I accompanied Xing Yanqing to a dinner gathering, presumably related to finance. All the attendees were prominent figures, and it struck me how vast the gap between us is. I do not wish to compromise my integrity, yet I wonder when I shall rise above. Chen Xiao furrowed his brow, as he was particularly attentive to information regarding Xing Yanqing. What financial topics were being discussed? Sun Ying pondered for a moment. It seemed to revolve around coal or something similar. I am not entirely certain. However, I believe I overheard something about a leading coal enterprise intending to impose restrictions. Chen Xiao silently noted this, intending to investigate further and see if there was an opportunity to cause him some trouble. Senior, you are so beautiful. How do you manage to extricate yourself from Xing Yanqing's grasp each time? Sun Ying chuckled. What? Are you worried about me being pursued by others? Chen Xiao contemplated before responding. If possible, I would prefer not to. Sun Ying extended her delicate finger, touched her fiery red lips, and then pressed them against Chen Xiao's. Her gaze enchanting as she said, Little brother, I shall await your support. Chen Xiao laughed. How long can you wait? Sun Ying pondered. Well, it's not forever, so you must strive to succeed. All right, I shall study overnight at the library, aiming to become an elite as soon as possible, Chen Xiao proclaimed. Hey, that is a matter for the future. For now, come along with me. Chen Xiao wondered why they were headed to the tennis court. Why are we here? Sun Ying's graceful hand swept across the wire fence as she turned to Chen Xiao and said, Of course, it is because there is a net here. Chen Xiao was taken aback. What? Do you wish to go online? Sun Ying cast him a resentful glance, filled with disdain. The following day, Su Tang called to inform that she had arrived at the school. Chen Xiao glanced at the time and realized it was nearly 9 o'clock. He instructed Su Tang to drive to the hotel entrance. After tidying up with Sun Ying, the two descended together. Chapter 38. Purchasing a car, Su Tang observed as Chen Xiao emerged from the hotel alongside an unfamiliar yet exquisite young woman. Her surprise was fleeting, quickly replaced by her usual demeanor. Ahem, please refrain from calling me old Chen. I feel aged as it is, Chen Xiao interjected. Su Tang was momentarily taken aback before promptly realizing that this indicated the young woman beside her boss was likely unaware of his true identity. Very well, old Chen Xiao. Please get in the car, she responded. Chen Xiao inquired, My friend has come to pick me up. Would you like a ride? Sun Ying, somewhat astonished, noted that the girl was not only beautiful, but exuded an air of competence. Has Chen Xiao begun dating? No, that cannot be. If she were his girlfriend, would he have her waiting at the hotel entrance? Oh, that's unnecessary. I'll return to school, Sun Ying replied, feeling somewhat bewildered. She sensed it wise to remain silent, allowing Chen Xiao more room to explain. All right, goodbye. As she watched Sun Ying walk away, Chen Xiao finally settled into the back seat. Su Tang asked, Boss, where are we headed? To the auto part city, he replied. Understood. Su Tang started the vehicle and drove steadily towards their destination. While recruiting for the logistics team, be sure to also hire a couple of drivers and a front desk assistant, he added. Oh, certainly, Su Tang noted, mentally taking note of his request. The assistant should be young and attractive, quick on her feet. Under your guidance, she can help alleviate some of your workload. The drivers should possess good character and speak little. They will be managed within your department. Understood, Su Tang replied, feeling a surge of happiness. Managing everything alone was proving to be quite taxing. With a team in place, she could save more time and provide better service to her boss. Upon arriving at the Auto City, Chun Xiao instructed Su Tang to drive into the Mercedes-Benz dealership. In this era, few automotive brands caught Chun Xiao's eye in terms of both exterior and interior design. Mercedes was one of them. Having entered the domestic market relatively early, it had established itself as a leading name, beloved by business professionals. When the sales representative saw Chun Xiao exit the car, assisted by the driver opening the door, he immediately recognized that this individual was either an esteemed client or merely posing. Judging by his age, the latter seemed more probable, yet his demeanor suggested otherwise. Regardless of whether he was a target client, the 50-50 chance warranted a risk. Good day, sir. Are you here to view vehicles? The sales representative inquired. Chun Xiao nodded, pleasantly surprised that the salesperson did not underestimate him due to his youth. Please come inside. Have you visited before? Is there a model that piques your interest? Chun Xiao replied, I would like to consider the Mercedes-Benz 300. Let's purchase one for the time being. The salesperson inhaled deeply, then smiled without uttering a word. As Su Tang had never driven such a luxurious vehicle, she was unable to offer any opinions. Would you like to take it for a test drive, sir? Chun Xiao declined, saying, No need. Let us proceed with the paperwork. Su Tang, the car will be registered under your name. Su Tang was taken aback. Such an expensive vehicle would be in her name? Old Chun Xiao waved his hand dismissively, stating that he lacked a driver's license and a local residence permit, making it impossible for him to handle the paperwork under his name. He implied that all the subsequent annual inspections and insurance matters will be taken care of by the other party. Oh, understood, Chun Xiao replied. And it was only then that Su Tang reluctantly accepted the reality of owning a luxury car valued at over $700,000. The salesperson, standing nearby, was utterly astonished. A student like him, purchasing a 300 and registering it under someone else's name? He had no driver's license. He wasn't even test driving. Most importantly, he hadn't inquired about the price. Sir, may I still provide you with an introduction? The salesperson stammered. Chun Xiao was taken aback. But I've already made the purchase. What else there to introduce? The salesperson seemed perplexed, but the process hasn't been completed yet. Let's skip that, Chun Xiao replied. Oh, sir, you need to select an additional configuration worth $40,000. Chun Xiao blinked in surprise. Is it starting to bind at this moment? Just then, a voice emerged from behind. No need to choose. It's included as a gift. Turning around with a smile, Chun Xiao said, Brother, what a coincidence. The speaker was none other than Tang Xiaofei. Indeed, what a stroke of fate, Chun Xiao remarked, gesturing towards the dealership. Ah, it's a property of mine that no one manages, and I happen to have some free time. He continued. Do you have other properties that require management? Chun Xiao inquired, genuinely impressed. Where? You appear younger than me, yet are already driving a 300. When I was your age, I bought a motorcycle and got a thrashing from my father for it. Haha, your father sounds formidable, Chun Xiao chuckled. Indeed, Tang Xiaofei said, calling the manager over. You, take my brother's lady and handle the paperwork. Don't forget to ensure everything is meticulously arranged. Understood, Tang Xiao. Chun Xiao smiled, adding thanks. But she's not my girlfriend. She is my subordinate. She's still single, and it would be unfortunate if that got out. Haha. All right, subordinate it is. Then take this lovely lady to handle the paperwork, Tang Xiaofei instructed. Chun Xiao handed his car to Su Tang, saying off you go. Yes, boss, Su Tang replied, maintaining a composed smile, unaffected by the playful banter among the boss's friends. After sending her off, Tang Xiaofei turned to Chun Xiao. What field are you involved in? Chun Xiao replied, Oh, I'm into investments. The term investment is quite broad, and Tang Xiaofei chose not to probe further. Recognizing that those who typically describe their work in such vague terms often have their own reservations. Changing the subject, he said, At your age, why not drive a Mercedes? Why not indulge in some supercars? Ha ha! As enticing as supercars are, my finances don't allow it, Chun Xiao responded. Tang Xiaofei clapped him on the shoulder. Do you expect me to believe that? Chun Xiao earnestly replied, My company is just starting out, and I don't have a license yet. I just needed something to use for now. I'll think about it later. Tang Xiaofei nodded, acknowledging the truth in his words. All right, I'll introduce you to some friends of mine who are into supercars. We occasionally collaborate on small projects. That will be wonderful. Thank you, Tang Xiao. While Chun Xiao didn't particularly seek connections, it wouldn't hurt to meet more friends, as one never knows where future opportunities might arise. Expanding his network could potentially facilitate resource exchanges. Sometimes, getting things done requires more than just financial investment, but rather the right connections. Enough with the casualness. I am your senior, so you may refer to me as Brother Tang, and I shall call you Brother Chun, which add a touch of intimacy. Very well, Brother Tang. I shall not hold back. Oh, there is no need for formality. Please stay for lunch. I recently acquired a fine bottle of wine, and we should enjoy it together. Chun Xiao, appreciating Tang Xiaofei's character, chimed in, all right, this meal is on me. Tang Xiaofei replied, you could treat next time for now. Let us dine at the restaurant where I will instruct the chef to prepare a special meal that rivals any five-star establishment. Chun Xiao was at a loss for words. He was being denied the opportunity to showcase himself. All right, I shall defer to Brother Tang. Chapter 39. A candlelight dinner. Typically, the process of purchasing a vehicle takes a day, but exceptions exist, especially for significant friends of the boss. Tang Xiaofei possessed a private banquet hall on the second floor, lavishly decorated. Chun Xiao accompanied Su Tang, while a beautiful woman sat beside Tang Xiaofei. Once the dishes were served, the lovely companion poured wine for the two men. Tang Xiaofei raised his glass, saying, to our acquaintance, dear brother. Chun Xiao clinked his glass with Tang Xiaofei's, toasting to their friendship, and they both downed their drinks. This 10-year-old Mao Tai was exceptionally delightful. Normally not fond of white spirits, Chun Xiao found himself enamored by the sensation. After a drink, Tang Xiaofei turned to Su Tang and asked, she is truly not your girlfriend? Su Tang smiled gently and glanced at Chun Xiao, who affirmed, indeed, she is not. Oh, then I can rest easy, Tang Xiaofei laughed, then turned to the beauty beside him, saying, Xiao Mei, let me tell you how I met Chun Xiao. It's quite a tale. He was with a girl, though not this lovely Su Tang. Their meal lasted nearly 2 hours, filled with laughter and joy, each consuming half a gin of liquor, after which they ceased drinking. There was no pressure to drink. It was a relaxed exchange among friends, enjoying each other's company. Brother, I will call you for the next drinking session. You must not decline. Rest assured, Brother Tang, I shall skip class to join, Chun Xiao jested. Haha, that won't do. You must focus on your studies. We shall drink during the holidays. Chun Xiao thought, he seems to have had a bit too much. Now he has concern about academics. All right, I will take your word for it. Su Tang, please take good care of my brother. Of course, Mr. Tang, you can rely on me. Xiao Omei, aiding Tang Xiaofei, remarked, Su Tang, you may drive the 300. I will arrange for someone to deliver your car later. Thank you, Xiao Mei. I appreciate your help. No need for politeness. Su Tang assisted Chun Xiao into the back seat before starting the engine and exchanged greetings with Tang Xiaofei as they departed from the dealership. On the road, Su Tang informed him, boss, the car is fully equipped. The original price was $850,000, but the dealership offered a discount of $100,000, totaling $750,000. Chun Xiao nodded. He recognized the need to return this favor at an opportune moment. He gazed at the pristine, exquisite interior of the 300 with a sense of nostalgia. In his previous life, he had never driven such a fine vehicle, and now, in this life, he had achieved it so swiftly. The car emanated the unique scent of a new automobile, with its interior crafted from a blend of brown leather and mahogany, showcasing exquisite craftsmanship and elegant stitching, exuding a luxurious and high-end ambience. The vehicle boasts exceptional sound insulation, outstanding shock absorption, and remarkable power. Sitting in the back seat, there is ample space to stretch out comfortably. Su Tang drove cautiously. Although her boss appeared calm and composed, it did not quell the excitement bubbling within her. Upon returning to the company building, she intended to arrange a room for Chun Xiao to rest. However, upon glancing back, she discovered him asleep against the seat. Momentarily taken aback, Su Tang exited the driver's seat and settled into the passenger seat, gently resting Chun Xiao's head on her shoulder, adjusting him into a more comfortable position, and reveling in the sight of his peaceful slumber. Chun Xiao found himself immersed in a long dream, one that transported him back to his childhood, lying on a soft bed that exuded a delightful fragrance. His hands were filled with cotton candy, soft, warm, and inviting. He laughed as he squeezed the sugary treat, savoring each bite with a lingering sweetness. Unfortunately, the dream was abruptly interrupted when he was awakened by his mother's scolding for returning home late. As Chun Xiao slowly opened his eyes, the captivating scent lingered in his nostrils. To his surprise, He found himself resting against Su Tang's shoulder, his hand resting on her thigh. He quickly sat upright, embarrassment flooding over him as he stammered. I didn't realize I had fallen asleep. I'm so sorry. Su Tang's cheeks flushed as she smoothed out her slightly rumpled white shirt. No, it's quite all right. Besides, there's nothing pressing today. I'm happy to keep you company in the car for a while. How long did I sleep? Su Tang fumbled for her phone. About an hour, I'd say. Oh. Chen Xiao wiped his face and continued. You might as well leave that little car at home for errands. Just use this one for daily needs. Huh? Boss. Wouldn't that be using a company vehicle for personal use? Chen Xiao chuckled. I provide my subordinates with cars to facilitate their work, which in turn benefits me. Drive it without worry. We can always upgrade later. Su Tang replied. Well, this one is already quite excellent. Are you heading to the hotel to rest? After a moment of contemplation, Chen Xiao decided, let us go to Junyi International. Understood. Su Tang started the engine and smoothly navigated out of the underground parking lot, leaving only after securing a room for Chen Xiao. Once in the hotel room, Chen Xiao lay on the bed and dialed Shi Yunru's number. Hello, room 803 at Junyi International, please come over. A few minutes later, Shi Yunru, dressed in athletic attire, knocked and entered. She remained as alluring as ever. Mr. Chun, would you like to begin with a stretching session? Chen Xiao patted the edge of the bed. I've had enough to drink today. No exercise for me, as it would put undue strain on my heart. Shi Yunru paused momentarily, then approached the bed. Chen Xiao, feeling unreserved, reclined on her lap, inhaling deeply, utterly relaxed. After all, he had paid for this service. Every aspect of it was to be savored. Yunru, could you give me a massage? Certainly. It was well within her duties to provide post-exercise recovery massages. Considering Chen Xiao's frequent visits, his request was hardly unreasonable. With gentle hands, Shi Yunru began to massage his head. The effects of the alcohol lingered, and it was not long before he dozed off once more, sinking into a blissful sleep filled with soft, sweet dreams. Regrettably, his enjoyment was short-lived, as he was abruptly awakened by a tremor that shook the ground. In a daze, Chen Xiao opened his eyes. What is happening? Where am I? Shi Yunru appeared somewhat uneasy. Mr. Chun, you are at the Junyi International Hotel. Oh. Chen Xiao relaxed again, gazing at the partially obscured, rounded chin of Shi Yunru above. Why is your face so flushed? Are you unwell? Shi Yunru quickly glanced aside and gently shook her head, saying, No, it's nothing, Mr. Chun. Chen Xiao, reflecting on his recent dream, began to comprehend the situation. Ah, my apologies. It's all right. Shi Yunru, blushing, sat on the edge of the bed. Chen Xiao seized the moment and suggested, Shall I treat you to a meal? Shi Yunru replied, Mr. Chun, I generally avoid eating outside food to maintain my figure. Chen Xiao understood the lengths to which girls obsessed with their figures would go. No worries, we can have Western cuisine. You can enjoy steak or boiled eggs. Oh, well then, the two dined at the Hotel's Western restaurant, where Shi Yunru's figure and beauty instantly became the center of attention. Chen Xiao reveled in the envious glances of others, feeling a sense of satisfaction swell within him. In the dimly lit ambience carefully crafted by the restaurant, Shi Yunru's stunning visage and exquisite figure were accentuated by the flickering candlelight, creating a breathtaking tableau. Yunru? You don't have a set menu for now, do you? Shi Yunru blushed as she replied, Mr. Chun, you jest. Ahem, yes. Just a joke, ha ha ha. After their meal, Chen Xiao bid farewell to Shi Yunru at the restaurant entrance. The longer he stayed in her company, the more he felt he might explode. He initially considered heading to the gym to release some tension, but then he remembered that the local gyms were hardly reputable establishments. It might even prove more distressing. Although spending money could bring satisfaction, he remained uncertain about the safety of those seasoned individuals. He thought, what a pity it would be to enjoy life for only a decade. Returning to his room, he took a shower, turned on the television, and found a classic old film. Chen Xiao dozed off without realizing it. The next morning, he finally went to the gym to run, for it was only at this hour that the gym felt pure and tranquil. After a vigorous workout, Su Tang arrived, holding a thermos of warm water. Watching Chen Xiao sweat profusely on the treadmill, her eyes sparkling with admiration. This boss of hers was not only young and affluent, but also strikingly handsome with a commendable physique. It was no wonder so many exquisite beauties were drawn to him. Who wouldn't be enchanted?